Hi there guys, I hope you have had a good day. Now, Deontay Wilder was apparently injured going into his fight with Tyson Fury, which seems like another excuse. I mean, it was the £40 suit, it was this and that, and Tyson Fury's corner done this, Tyson Fury's corner done that. But ultimately, are these not just more excuses? Because Deontay Wilder looked fine going into the ring. I know you can't really take too much from that, but every fighter has niggles during camp. Every fighter has a few problems. So, was Deontay Wilder injured? No, I don't believe so. Now, sparring partner Junior Farr, who was sparring Deontay Wilder, said that there was an injury from Deontay Wilder going into the fight with Tyson Fury. But how bad was this injury? Apparently, it was the bicep. And we do know that Deontay Wilder did have bicep surgery after the fight, but still, Deontay Wilder was cleared to fight. His team wanted him to fight. Deontay Wilder wanted to fight. If it was that bad, he would not be fighting Tyson Fury. So this can be just considered another excuse. And it hasn't come from Deontay Wilder. At least that is what we are led to believe at the moment. It hasn't stemmed from him. We don't believe anyway. But it came from Junior Farr, who was a sparring partner of Wilder. Now, let's look at the real reasons why Deontay Wilder lost this fight. Deontay Wilder didn't have a game plan to deal with Tyson Fury. They did not believe Tyson Fury was going to come out like that. Even Junior Farr said, who was in camp with Deontay Wilder, he was surprised with Tyson Fury's tactics. So that means that they did not anticipate what Tyson Fury was going to do, even though Tyson Fury told them time and time again throughout the press conferences, and even when he weighed in over 19 stone like he said he would, they still did not believe that Tyson Fury was going to implement that kind of game plan on Deontay Wilder, but he did. So Deontay Wilder wasn't prepared for the Tyson Fury he was going to be facing, and ultimately he was not good enough. Really, he just wasn't good enough. Because Tyson Fury is a skilled boxer, he is also a skilled fighter, so Tyson Fury has proved that he can do it many different ways, on the front foot, on the back foot, even fighting on the inside, which is incredible considering the size of the man. So Tyson Fury has proven he can do it those different ways in the ring. Has Deontay Wilder? Deontay Wilder seems to be a one-trick pony. Going forward, he looks terrible. Going backwards, he can't do that either. He can pull one big punch out of the bag. And what Deontay Wilder needed to do against Tyson Fury was stop him from coming forward. You cannot allow someone to just have their own way like that, and you cannot be predictable. You cannot do the same thing over and over again and expect different results. That is what Deontay Wilder was doing. He did not have a clue what to do. Maybe the injury did play a part, but ultimately a fully fit Deontay Wilder was never going to beat Tyson Fury in that fight because Deontay Wilder was clueless as to what to do in that fight. He just did not know. He did not know how to stop Tyson Fury from coming forward. He did not know how to make Tyson Fury miss. He did not know how to counter Tyson Fury. He did not know any of this. So whether Deontay Wilder was injured, whether he wasn't, doesn't matter. Wilder was always going to lose this fight, considering Fury's game plan, considering Deontay Wilder's game plan of his own. Unless, of course, he finds that one big punch, which seems to be the same with every Deontay Wilder fight. Can he win? No, not really, but if he finds a big punch, yeah, he can win. And he's done that, over 40 times now. But against Tyson Fury, he's too big, too strong, too fast, and just too good for Deontay Wilder. In the third fight, can Deontay Wilder knock out Tyson Fury? Yes, he can. He can find that one big punch. He can do it against anyone. But ultimately, Tyson Fury in the second fight, which we already know the result of, obviously, but in that fight, there was no way that Deontay Wilder was going to beat Tyson Fury. Not on that game plan, unless he lands a lucky punch. But that is the same with every Deontay Wilder fight. But the result stands. 7th round, TKO victory to Tyson Fury. That is what happened. Whether there was an injury for Deontay Wilder, whether there was an injury for Tyson Fury, because we don't know about that. Fury never comes out and says, I had an injury or I had this problem. He just gets on with it. Whether he's in a fight where he wins easily or doesn't win so easily at all, like against Otto Wallin. Now, one thing that is true, Deontay Wilder did have surgery on a bicep. So he did have that surgery, but there is no guaranteeing that he had that problem going into the Tyson Fury fight. And if he did, would it have affected him that much? Well, we would need to know the extent of the injury to really consider that. But ultimately, Deontay Wilder seemed fine. Obviously, he had the 40-pound suit, he had this problem, that problem. We've heard it all before. It seems to have been just like, 6-7 months of excuses from mainly Deontay Wilder's fans. Wilder's been quiet, but his fans will not shut up. And all they do is go on and on about excuses about how Tyson Fury done this wrong, Tyson Fury done that wrong, and this was wrong, that was wrong. Tyson Fury was, I don't know, telling Deontay Wilder's corner to throw the towel in. It was just crazy. All of the excuses. It doesn't matter about the excuses. What matters is the result. Tyson Fury won. Tyson Fury is WBC World Champion. Yes, Deontay Wilder has another chance in December, but all of these excuses, the bicep, the weighted costume, all of that, that's not going to help Deontay Wilder at all. So if his fans and sparring partner Junior Farr, I'm guessing he's a Deontay Wilder fan. So yeah, those guys, all of those fans, they are not helping Deontay Wilder by saying all of this. Deontay Wilder needs to hear, you weren't good enough on the night. You need to be better next time. This is how. That is how Deontay Wilder needs to approach this training camp for Tyson Fury. A lot needs to change in the next few months if Deontay Wilder wants to even come close to beating Tyson Fury. He needs to establish his jab more. He needs to land hard and often, but not so hard where he's loading up with those punches. So he needs to set that jab up, set up a straight right hand, and not shoot to the head of Tyson Fury. There's not just one target. Tyson Fury is 6'9", 19 stone. There's a lot of him to try and hit. So don't just try and hit his head. Work to the body as well. Stop jabbing and going backwards or jabbing and going left. Change direction. Change height. Vary the jab. Vary your punches. Don't just look for the same one that Tyson Fury knows is going to come. So why are his team not encouraging him to do that rather than make excuses? It baffles me. I don't know. But ultimately, what Deontay Wilder needs to do is let go of all of these excuses. Whether there was an injury, maybe there was. I don't believe there was, but if there was, just let it go. Anthony Joshua lost to Andy Ruiz Jr., made no excuses, would not hear of them, then went back and beat him. So Wilder does not need these excuses in his ear. He needs to hear, you weren't good enough on the night. Regroup, get better, learn what you need to learn, then go again. Not excuses. That is not going to help Deontay Wilder at all. But guys, anyway, what are your thoughts on this? Make sure you leave your thoughts in the comments below, leave a thumbs up and subscribe if you are new. Thanks guys.